Welcome to the Shut Your Mouth Lounge, episode number 143. It's me, Alex, and there's also Addie. It's just it's a duo podcast, a two-man podcast. A duo! That's intuitive. Hey! Oh, I'm the best. Anyways,
Hey.
so, Addie, you haven't said anything.
I just did.
Yeah, but I'm so loud and obnoxious that it got covered up.
Alright, good. I'm glad.
Addie, do you have anything coming out on your channel this week?
No.
Fuck. Well, I probably won't either. I've been saying repeatedly I want to give Twitch a shot, but every week that I say that, it's in like, hey, you have an assignment due every day, and at the end of the week, you have a 3-page paper due, so... And also, you have family that wants to spend time with you. And also... And also, you need to relax for yourself. So it's kind of like, oh, well, there's no time.
Yeah, thankfully for me, most of my family is made up of introverts, so family time was never really an option because none of us want to do it.
Everyone in my family's an introvert.
I don't know. I guess we just show love in a different way because, like, usually when I try to get ourselves together, it's just and then we all go do our own shit.
Oh, man. Okay, so, Eddie. Oh, I guess I should say what the group's been doing. Okay, on the group channel, on Monday, we got Contra, and then Contra Hardcore. Yeah, baby. And then, on Friday, we got Sengoku Basra 4 Part 10. And on Saturday, we have Fall Guys Part 2. There will not be a Part 3.
Nope. Maybe I'll put final in the title. Just to make it clear.
Fall Guys Final. Do not fucking... If you are here for Fall Guys content, go find someone else's fucking channel. Alright. So, Addie, what have you been doing this past week?
So, let's see. I don't remember most of it, probably. But I did play through God of War 4 again.
Ooh, alright. I've been really... I don't know when it's going on sale next, but that one's a definite, one in the back of my mind. And doesn't it usually go on sale for, $10?
Well, I think they lowered the base price to 20 now.
Jesus, that game just came out! And it sold
Yeah.
gangbusters! Why are they lowering the price that much?
That's actually the reason.
Oh, because everybody else already has it, so they're just selling it to the few holdouts like me.
Yeah, I think they put it into PlayStation Hits, which is that thing of everybody else already owns this game, so here, have it for $20.
Ha! That makes sense.
I'm actually going to check just to make sure, but yeah. So yeah, I still haven't been able to beat the Valkyrie.
Ooh, yeah, they look rough.
I have end level freaking. Well, not end level, but I have end game loot. I have most of my things upgraded to the maximum, and I take down one bar.
Yeah, you don't want to see the last Valkyrie. There is a Super Best Friends video that is just like an hour-long video of Pat fighting that last Valkyrie. And it takes him the whole hour.
Oh, nice. Yeah, by the way, I'm looking at the game right now. Yes, it is in PlayStation Hits, so it is $20. In fact, right now it's on sale, so it's only 18.
Oh, $2 off ain't big enough to get me to jump out of my fucking
Yeah,
seat.
no.
If you would have said $10 there, I'd have been jumping out of my seat to go check my fucking bank account.
I mean, I think, bloody hell, the conversion rates. I'm actually gonna check real quick how much it is exactly, because usually I convert the stuff in my mind, but I can't do maths properly, so.
I mean, I probably shouldn't, because what was I gonna say? I probably shouldn't, because I should be saving that money up for the Christmas and Halloween sales on Steam.
It's $15 right now.
All right. Uh, so you've been playing God of War 4. What made you think, "Oh, I should go back and I should return to Dad of Boy"?
Well, I've already played through it once before because I've started up like three different New Game Plus playthroughs and then realized, oh, the New Game Plus sucks. It's just not well implemented at all.
it's
Because
it's a hidden
yeah,
art.
like the thing is, you have easy, which is a difficulty I could actually play on, but that's like that's way too easy for New Game Plus. And
Yeah.
then you have anything above easy, and that's like freaking the hardest difficulty.
Oop. Ow.
Like the different levels of the hardest difficulty of the normal playthrough.
So it's like Dark Souls, where every round of New Game Plus increases the difficulty.
Maybe it seems to be so. I don't know. I've never not been able to play through New Game Plus before. Well, I could, but like on easy, what's the point at that point?
Yeah. I'm going to do this thing that you do for bragging rights, and I'm going to do it on easy. That way my achievements are undercut.
I mean, not only that, but my main issue is that like I tried all of the difficulties in New Game Plus when I last tried to play through the game again, and it like what seriously, it's literally just easy on normal mode. Not even New Game Plus, just the same easy difficulty as normal easy,
Heh.
and then different levels of Dark Souls because you have Dark Souls that is, I don't know, slightly more challenging than it should be, probably, well, at least for me anyway, because I'm not too well acquainted with the fighting mechanic.
Dark
Dark
Souls 1
Souls,
and 3 where the difficulty was incidental, and then Dark Souls 2 where the difficulty was very much intentional.
then you have freaking hard, which is Dark Souls, but also with shields, and then you have Give Me God of War difficulty, which is the hardest. That is Dark Souls, but also nobody dies aside from you.
Yeah, then I was about to say, like, I wouldn't want to, even though that game's Dark Souls inspired, I know, quite heavily, but I would not want to play that one on the high difficulties because it's got so many RPG stats.
Yeah, not only does it have a lot of RPG stats, but from my experience, it's really not clear how you even put them up.
Do you not, like, upgrade Kratos' armor and Atreus' stuff?
You do sometimes. Usually, you won't have enough money, so you can't really upgrade it too much. You either just craft newer gear, or you just go with what you have. But like stat wise, I have the best gear in the game, and still it makes no real difference. Or at least I have the best gear for me, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you very definitely can get that, like, super duper armor from, like, Muspelheim on your first run through, right?
Yeah, that's what I have.
Okay, so I would like to see a game introduce even tougher armors on New Game Plus, but I don't see how you could get any bigger and fancier looking than that Muspelheim armor.
Yeah, for my first playthrough of the game, I didn't go to the different to the bonus rounds because I didn't find the ciphers. So I just went to Muspelheim and I'm like, maybe there's something else in this realm. And no, it's literally just a gauntlet and then a Valkyrie at the end, and the Valkyrie is still standing victorious atop that hill because I am not fighting it.
Yeah, I can't say I blame you.
And like the thing is, you think that like I could upgrade like some gear or get better gear, unlock new moves that could help, but not really, no, because technically, yes, I can unlock new moves by doing side missions, and I have been doing that. But the new moves don't really make a whole lot of difference, and I can't upgrade my armor due to lack of Muspelheim loot that I can't get because I can't redo the gauntlets. So I'm just sitting on like, I don't know, like 130,000 scrap metal or whatever, and 160,000 experience that I can't spend because I can't upgrade the Blades of Chaos.
Yeah, it sounds like you're kind of hitting a peak here. like Dark Souls has a similar thing where like you can probably keep upgrading yourself throughout new games plus 1 and 2, but once you get past that point, you're kind of plateauing in terms of your character's own power level, and the enemies just keep getting stronger. But that's part of the idea there.
Yeah. Otherwise, I had fun with the game. Because some of the cutscenes I skipped because I remember what happens in them enough. But
There's
most
some
of them
you can't skip.
yeah,
there's no way you skip the cutscenes in the first Baldur fight.
I think I did because I didn't enjoy Baldur the whole lot.
Heh.
There is one scene in the whole game though where not only do I not skip it, but I have to put because I played through some of the game on mute because I was doing other stuff in the meantime as well. And there's one scene where I had to put the game's audio up, which I'm not sure how much I can say about the scene because it's spoilers. But like
Is it the return? Is it the return of a dear old friend?
No.
Okay.
I mean, is it really spoilers if it's freaking Norse mythology?
I don't consider it like if it's something just basic like oh hey Tyr was a pretty cool guy.
I mean, there is the part where Baldur dies. I really like how they set that scene up. I had to put audio on it.
Oh yeah, Baldur dying is just part of Norse myth.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know how much of a spoiler it is because it's just Norse mythology.
But if Baldur doesn't die, the most important part of the Norse storyline doesn't happen. Because isn't Baldur's death what sets off Ragnarok?
Yes,
Okay, I was curious if I was misremembering that. Yeah,
but yeah,
for me, the best cutscene in that game is the return of an old friend beneath the cabin. And
I mean,
I call it
I've already called them by name, the old friends. So
no, I'm not referring. Well, I mean, yeah, you do return. There is a character that returns, but in this case, I'm referring to an object.
yeah, I called that object by name.
You did? Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
well, yeah, for me, the best cutscene in the game is when Kratos retrieves the Blades of Chaos. That cutscene has a tremendous significance to Kratos as a character, and the soundtrack
yeah,
and the lighting and everything all just comes together wonderfully.
yeah. I felt the significance, and because the thing is, I didn't play through most of the other God of Wars. I played through 3, played some of 2, but then my sister lost my copy of 2, so I'd have to replay to. I'd have to see if I can buy it on PS4 or something. But yeah, so so some of the stuff I understand, and I understood with how Kratos' character, behaved. But I don't know. I feel like overall it to me, or I don't know, just to the overall story of the game, the Baldur's Death scene is more. It carries more weight just because of how Kratos acts.
Yes,
Like
the fact that he gives Baldur a chance, I think, is the really important part.
not only but like what happens after, because there's a conversation with Atreus after it, and they like it shows a different side of Kratos.
Yes, that whole scene really signifies Kratos' growth as a character from 3 to 4.
Yeah,
I'm also
I
fond of
also,
the fact that when Baldur goes face down in the snow, he just says snow, and you're like, well, what's the point of that? Oh, in Norse myth, Baldur's death starts the great winter that kills everyone. Whoops.
but yeah. I also liked how they kept building Atreus up, even if I didn't like. I felt like this game also sometimes fell into the Rockstar thing of, oh, this character is supposed to be like irrational right now, so let's just make them into the biggest asshole in the room. I felt like it fell into that too much a lot of times, but still, I liked how they kept building Atreus up for the big reveal.
Oh, yeah. well, it's one of those things that like you maybe could have figured it out, but like the only real clue you have is that Kratos' wife is named Faye.
That initiates his behavior, really.
Yeah. Well, and him being a frost giant, I guess, but like the thing is, it really screwed with people because people are used to the Marvel version of Norse myth, and Marvel turned Laufey into a dude. But if you knew the original Norse myth, Laufey's a chick there, oh, you'd probably figure that out faster than the rest of us did. I'm excited. I'm really excited to see where 5 and 6 go. I mean, obviously
Yeah,
4 is a fucking raging start because 5 and 6 have to up the scale even further.
yeah. The thing I'm hoping for, since Mimir has shown that not literally every god has to be an enemy, and Freya to an extent.
I mean, Kratos got along together pretty well with Hephaestus, I think.
Uh, for the most part, he still killed Hephaestus, though, didn't he?
I think after Hephaestus betrayed him, yes.
Uh,
I don't remember why Hephaestus betrayed him. It was something like Zeus offered him that he was
his
going to let him come
daughter.
back to Olympus.
I think it was his daughter.
Right, yes. Kratos got along fine with Athena, and he only killed her on accident. It was after she died that Athena became a real problem.
Oh no, Mimir, save yourself.
Oh no.
I don't know. I don't know how you will, but save yourself.
How do you kill a disembodied head?
I mean, it could be done pretty easily. I mean, there's multiple ways. I'm not too known. Like, I don't have a lot of knowledge about freaking Norse magic and shit like that. But like, he could just kill Freya, and the magic that keeps him alive goes away or something.
Maybe. I mean, we'll see.
Or
It'll be.
or yeah.
Honestly, the idea of Mimir just being this disembodied head throughout time. Like, cut to modern day, and Mimir is just in the middle of the street, ahead.
Mimir is probably my favorite character in the whole game, by the way.
Mimir's great.
Yeah.
I do appreciate the one scene where after Kratos uses the Blades of Chaos, Mimir just goes, "Oh, holy shit, you're the guy that killed all the Greek gods."
Yeah.
I guess that news gets around, doesn't it?
I suppose so.
Oh, man.
I also liked his explanation for his eyes.
Oh, I
Did
never
you hear
heard
that?
that line.
So when you're traversing Yggdrasil, uh, like post game, I guess maybe
Ah.
Atreus will ask Mimir about why the giants gave him Bifrost eyes, and he's like, well, they just gave those out to people they trusted. And originally, I got so, or like, no, Atreus asked, they didn't getting your eyes replaced with Bifrost hurt, and Mimir goes, no, I was too hammered. You know, actually at the time I wanted them to put the Bifrost into my nipples, and I nearly convinced them, but it didn't work out by the end. But just imagine, Mimir of the Bifrost teats.
Of course, the one Irishman in that game is the drinker. Which,
But yeah.
I mean, that alone was weird that they were like, "Oh, Mimir's actually from the Celtic pantheon. He just came over." Like, okay.
I mean, with Tyr, they've shown that all of the pantheons exist and work together sometimes. So
Oh yeah. I mean, okay. Would it not be cool if there was like a God of War side story that's just Tyr showing up in Japan and he's like, "Hey, Susanoo, let's go kill that 9-headed dragon thing." And Susanoo is like, "Fucking rad, let's do it."
I mean, it would be funny, yeah.
Like that entire dungeon that you were just running through Tyr's possessions. That entire section is just full blown. Boy, wasn't Tyr the coolest?
Yeah. But yeah, the thing I actually wanted to go into with the whole thing of like of not every god being an enemy Is man, wouldn't it be cool if Uller was like a freaking trainer for Atreus in the next game so he can improve his archery?
That would be interesting, but didn't Kratos kill his brother? Didn't they just kill his brothers?
Oh, it's complicated. His half brothers, yeah.
His half brothers, okay.
Because not even half brothers. From what I remember, it wasn't Uller freaking like an adopted son of Thor.
He might have been. I mean, it could definitely be a situation where they just show up and Uller's like, I don't care, my brothers were dicks.
Yeah. I mean, they could do a funny reference to like actual mythology with the thing of like they go through this big dungeon trying to find Odin, and then it's rumored that Odin's there, and they go and it's actually Uller. Because Uller did take over for Odin for like a couple of months while he was out.
That would be an interesting way to explain why Odin hasn't come for Kratos in God of War 5.
Yeah.
That, and presumably Odin's got bigger things to do when Ragnarok's going on. It's not until you kill Thor that it's really like, oh, fuck, yeah, he needs to be dealt with.
Yeah.
Thor, you don't really need an explanation. That guy just goes and picks fights for no reason. It's funny seeing these kinds of things and how they handle characters differently, because Odin's kind of a dick no matter which way you look at him. But Thor, like in Marvel, Thor is Superman. He's great and he's amazing and he's got all these morals. God of War, Thor's probably the most dickish out of the Asgardian gods.
I mean, he did pick a couple of fights in the mythology as well, from what I remember.
He did, but wasn't there like, it was still like a monster, whereas in God of War 4, they're like, oh yeah, he murdered that giant for literally no reason.
I mean, usually it was a monster, but sometimes it was just like there was actually a giant called freaking I forget his name. It was something Loki. It wasn't actual Loki because Loki was on Thor's side in this story, but it was something
Rarely.
Loki. Yeah. But like Thor and Loki were just going through like the woods or something. No, actually, from what I remember, the story is like Thor wanted to challenge this big giant because he was supposed to be really strong, and Thor is a freaking anime protagonist now.
Yeah,
I guess.
all the Norse were anime protagonists.
Yeah. And so they spent like this whole time trying to find him, and then they find him, they challenge him, and he uses like mirages to beat Thor and Loki in these stupid games. And it's things like Thor is like, give me someone to wrestle, and he summons like an old grandma. And
then Thor suplexes the old grandma so hard she explodes.
No, and then the old grandma suplexes Thor so hard his spine nearly breaks.
Oh my god.
Yeah, turns out the old grandma, and then Thor is like, no, actually, give me someone to wrestle. And then the guy just brings out a cat. And Thor can't lift the cat because it does that thing where it lets go of its body, so it's like a noodle. Thor just cannot lift the cat. And Thor gives up. It turns out that cat actually freaking Jormungandr.
Oh my god.
And then I forget who the third guy was. Like Loki is like, okay, I'm gonna be in like this eating competition or drinking, I forget, one of the two. And it's just like this little kid goes up against Loki, and Loki loses, and I forget what was the big reveal there, but it was something stupid like that. It was like a freaking bottomless pit or something going up against Loki.
Yes, the bottomless pit disguised itself.
So yeah, that was a funny story.
The Norse were real big on that kind of thing, weren't they?
Yeah.
I don't know nearly as much about Norse mythology as I should.
I mean, I don't particularly care about Norse mythology. It's like it's weird because sometimes I go on binges just to be somewhat informed, but I don't particularly care about Norse mythology, and especially not like Viking history, which is where most of what people would think about it.
Viking history is Roman Empire fell, and the vampires, yes. The Vikings then rubbed their dicks all over coastal Europe. All of it. Russia, Vikings. Normandy, Vikings. England, Vikings. Sicily, Vikings. Fucking Greece, Vikings.
Cicero, Vikings.
Yeah.
That's how he died.
I still love that one image of astronauts arriving on the moon, and there's a Viking helmet and axe there, and the astronaut just goes, "Oh, god damn it."
Yeah. But yeah, so after that, I just went like to Wikipedia, and I was like, okay, give me a list of mythological objects or something. I don't know. So I just wanted to compare stuff, and freaking for one, the Wikipedia article has like spelling errors in it. So
as all good Wikipedia articles do.
yeah. But I found out, which is genuinely a thing I didn't know, but apparently we also have one in Brazil, like the Hungarians.
Hmm.
And I didn't know about this because most of the people who would carry on the Hungarian paganic religions and stuff like that were sort of like tortured and beaten to death or nearly to death by the Catholic knights.
Oh boy.
So yeah, but apparently like the one other big like I guess one of the other big peoples that believed in a freaking world tree was also us.
Interesting.
And I know nothing else about it because they just said, "Hey, world tree, Hungarian." Also, here's like 4 Hungarian names for it that I haven't technically yes, I guess, but I genuinely have never heard about it.
I don't think I've ever heard of Hungarian mythology. Is it not related to Tengriism?
I have never heard of that, so who knows?
Tengriism was the religion of like the people of the northeastern steppes, like near Siberia and Mongolia and all that.
I mean, maybe I don't know. Most of like mentions of Hungarian religion just come from like older hymns, I guess, and stuff like that. And it's not even actual mentions of the old Hungarian religions. It's just Catholicism, but also more patriotic, I guess, or something like that. Like it's talking about the Christian God, but it's not the Christian God, it's the Hungarians' God. So
What,
so
like voodoo? Like they just like, we like Catholicism, but we also like the way we used to do things. So that we'll just mix them, and any inconsistencies that happen are just part of it.
no, genuinely, just literally just normal Christianity, or like what can be considered normal Christianity. And it's just instead of just saying God, it's the Hungarians' God.
Oh, okay, so it's more like when over here people say Jesus was American.
Yeah, more like that, but yeah, more like that. But because of this, I hold the opinion that if God of War ever wants to use Jesus, just say it's the Hungarian God. It's not Jesus.
Meh.
Like just put like a Hungarian flag, freaking one of those things that they put on like pageant winners, and there you go.
Just God of War trying to do Christianity. Like, there's parts of it that almost could work. Kratos versus Samson would work.
I mean, the thing with Christianity is that, like, that people would argue about who isn't should be and shouldn't be included, and there's the thing of like, oh well, do we use the Sumerian gods here or do we use the Sumerian gods in their own thing?
Oh like, yeah. Yeah, because you'd be lumping in like the Sumerian gods, the Canaanite gods, all kinds of things.
Yeah.
It would actually be really cool if Kratos went to hell and like fought Beelzebub.
No. Do you know what would be really cool?
What?
Kratos goes to hell and fights Dante Alighieri.
Oh god. Okay, not Dante's Inferno version Dante, though. I refuse for that. Make it just actual Dante Alighieri. And he
Uh,
fights like that one character from Naruto who made kanji, would write down kanji, but instead of kanji, it's just Latin.
oh, Sai, that guy drew, but yeah.
Whatever. Was there not
Basically,
some Japanese character who fought by just writing down words of kanji and then it would happen?
no, the closest I can think of is Koichi and JoJo, who can say a word and then the word whatever the word touches, the word happens to it.
Oh, okay. Huh, okay.
But yeah, I'll look forward to the next God of Wars, because I mean they've shown that Kratos can be more. I'm hoping that they can up the writing on characters that aren't supposed to be sympathetic as well.
Heh.
Because like it's a difference of, oh, this guy is bad, I want to beat him up, and oh, this guy is bad, I want to change the channel. It's the expect heat. It's the expect freaking out. It's the expect heat.
I mean, Thor is just going to be a straight psycho because that's how they've built Thor. Is Thor
Yeah,
just
I mean that's fair, but like someone like, it just feels really uncharacteristic for characters who are supposed to be otherwise sympathetic, but then they have like a off patch, and they try to portray them as less sympathetic, but instead of them, that they just make them like Thor level assholes.
Atreus has already had his bad spurt. I think the trouble is now going to be Loki. Seeing where
Yeah,
that goes.
yeah, that will be an issue. I can see Freya being an issue in the future.
Freya's the both. I think Freya's gonna be the hardest part to do because her storyline's already really awkward. It was probably, I would say Freya's ending in God of War 4 is the most awkwardly executed part of the story.
Yeah.
Odin, I'm really interested to see because I have a strong feeling they're gonna pull a Zeus with Odin, where it's like, man, Odin, what a dick, and then you actually meet him and he's like, no, I had to do things because of thing.
I mean, it would be funny if they do like a whole big old Zeus thing with Odin,
Where he
where
reveals he is also Kratos' father.
no, maybe Zeus Odin pulls off the mask and it's actually Zeus. No, but like they could do this whole big fight with him where he's like, larger than life first, and then he trunks into a normal human size and stuff like that. I can see that being fun with Odin.
Oh yeah, there's definitely that aspect of Odin as like the wanderer who knows the runes of Yggdrasil and all that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
imagine if instead of a big epic Viking warrior, he's just this little old man who kicks your ass with rune magic.
the Odin fight is actually a Scooby-Doo chase scene.
Yeah. In the roots of Yggdrasil.
Yeah, and but then
And everybody's upside down.
I also want I also want them to go for like the stupidest ending where they do freaking, like, I don't know, they do a generational Kamehameha thing. like Atreus has to shoot freaking Odin, so Kratos is prepped up, but he's on his deathbed, also mimicking the moves. Also, Zeus is behind him doing the moves.
The ghost of Zeus. He's not
Yeah,
actually. He's not
the
even
ghost
doing.
of Zeus.
The ghost of Zeus isn't even having effects. He's just imitating it because he's like, yeah, kid, yeah, son, 1,000 years later, you finally did something worthy.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm surprised they didn't do more with Zeus in God of War 4, which I guess Zeus's ghost and Athena's ghost are probably going to be bigger problems in 5 and 6, aren't they?
Yeah, Athena's ghost, I don't know, because she already was a pain in the ass in the third game. So
True.
the thing with Zeus, is that like they're building up Kratos regretting killing Zeus for some reason.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things of like, yeah, Zeus was a dick, but at the same time, killing the Olympians, did like practically nuke Greece. So,
Ah, yeah. I mean, I don't remember what Zeus's death caused. I mean, Poseidon was the biggest issue from what I remember.
oh yeah, Poseidon. Didn't they outright say that killing Poseidon killed 3/4 of Greece's total population?
Something like that, yeah.
And when he killed Helios, didn't that cause the sun to get blotted out?
Or maybe, I don't remember.
I don't know what Zeus would cause. Like, Zeus is the god of lightning and all that, but wasn't he also like the god of justice or something? Despite being a very non-just person.
Freaking Zeus dies, bestiality is now outlawed.
No, Zeus dies, bestiality is now everywhere. The duck now fucks you.
But that's already happened, it was just Zeus.
No, Zeus fucked the ducks, but now without him there to fuck them.
Oh, okay. No, wait, didn't... Okay, I might be mixing up my mythology. Wasn't Zeus the one that turned into a duck to have sex with a woman?
I can't remember.
It was a duck or a goose?
I don't know, I just like the idea that Zeus was holding them back with bestiality. Oh, Christ. And like,
yeah.
that was 1,000 years ago in game, so Athena's ghost was just kind of sitting there waiting, like, you'll come back to me, bitch. In time.
Yeah. I also do wonder what they'll do with like the smaller gods like Valravan.
Yeah, that's a question, because they did Magnus and Modi at all, which is fairly big, because those guys are not really put up there, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, God of War, the original Greek trilogy, Kratos ran through pretty well everyone. Like, people really don't put much significance on Helios, but Helios got a boss fight, so there you go. Didn't Kratos fight Hercules in one of those games?
That was the third one.
Ah, okay. Right, Hercules was his brother. Kratos had two evil brothers, didn't he? Because he had Hercules, but he had another guy. I don't remember.
Hades.
Hades was his uncle.
Not Hades. Freaking Ares.
Was Ares not also one of the original generation?
I don't remember. I'm not too big on Greek mythology.
Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades were definitely part of the original generation. I mean, Kratos also killed his sister, because Athena's his sister.
Good question.
Yeah. Kratos killed a lot of his own family members.
Yeah. Oh, I know one. I know a freaking... I know a funny way for the fight with Odin to end, though.
What?
HGS makes a mech out of Ymir's the remains of Ymir's dead body.
The remains of Ymir's dead body are the entirety of Midgard.
I know. Well, no, from what I remember, at least in the games, it says that it was his eyebrows. So he can still make it on Ymir mech out of like most of his skin.
Yeah.
And some of the meat, maybe. Because from what I don't remember exactly what it was. Something like his blood was the ocean. His freaking like it was stupid stuff like that. Like the freaking lint under his nails. That's the ground.
I wouldn't think there'd be enough lint under his nails, but okay.
I don't know, dude. The guy gave birth to like 900 people through just lifting his hands and showing people his armpit hair. So
true.
I like how origin myths are always so freaking weird.
Oh yeah.
Like especially in freaking I freaking forget the actual term. Was it monotheistic? The one with multiple gods? Bless you.
Was it what?
Was it polytheistic, the ones with multiple gods?
Yes.
But yeah, especially in polytheistic religions, the origin stories are always so weird because it's just like, oh well, there were these one or two characters first, and then weird thing happens, and now there's multiple. Because Ymir gave birth to them through his armpits. Zeus, they just popped out of Zeus for no reason really.
Kronos and Gaia fucked and produced Zeus, Poseidon, Hades, and so and so. And he ate all of them
Yeah.
except Zeus, and then Zeus killed them and opened up his gut, and the others came out.
Ah yeah. Okay, so the Greeks at least it made some sense. The Japanese, in the Japanese it was just, oh freaking Izanagi took a bath and then as he combed his hair, just gods came out. Like genuinely, I don't remember which one is which, but like some of them came out from his hair, some of them just formed from the water that fell off of it onto the ground, shit like that.
Huh. Oh man. Okay. What else did you do this week, man?
I think that might be it, actually.
All right, we were able to talk about mythology for a good while, so now I can say I did nothing this week except school and putting like 2 hours into Devil May Cry 4 and like 3 or 4 hours into Gladius just to fucking kick back and relax after doing schoolwork. It's weird coming back to Devil May Cry 4 because you know that thing where you walk away from something and your brain internalizes it, so you come back and you're better.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened with me in Devil May Cry 4. I'm just dodging all kinds of shit that before I thought was completely undodgeable, and I would have went, bullshit, there's no way I can dodge that. And then I'm just sidestepping it. Which I wonder how much of that is internalizing and how much of that is just Dark Souls where defense is everything. It's
Good
interesting.
question. Yeah.
Like learning some games will make you better at others. Like you got any big examples of like where you walked away from a game you liked, played another game, and wound up learning from that game in a way that improved you at the former game.
I mean, that's just usually what I do with fighting games.
Ha!
But let's see if I remember, because most of the things with this is for me is fighting games, because usually the other types of games I play don't have a lot of transferable skill.
Ha!
But hmm. Yeah, good question. Because once again, it's mainly just fighting games. It like sometimes I do notice a shift in how I play fighting games than how, like, because I've been playing Street Fighter V more actively recently. I went back and played a bit of Guilty Gear, and I was a lot less or a lot more grounded. I was a lot I spent a lot less time in the air, stuff like that.
I feel like I need to do the opposite.
Yeah, I mean, you need to find a balance between the two.
I mean, fighting games are like the go-to example for like transferable knowledge skill, which is not universal. Because like there's some stuff you'll pick up in Tekken that'll help you in 2D fighters and vice versa. But broadly speaking, Tekken is quite a bit different, you know?
Yeah.
Because like there is the general thing of like learning timing of moves and neutral, but otherwise Tekken has an entirely different combo system. Tekken has very different spacing. Tekken has like an entirely different way of keeping track of where you are in the stage.
Not entirely, and that's the thing. Like, for example, the jungle system. The jungle system in Tekken isn't really all that different to the jungle systems in things like MK11 or like more recent Mortal Kombat in general, or like,
Yeah, because Ed Boon wants to make a Tekken game.
yeah, or like even Street Fighter to an extent. The main difference between those three games is that Tekken is the loosest with how much it lets you do with the combo system, whereas Mortal Kombat tries to give you a lot, but because of how the animations do their job with the controls, it doesn't feel as good, at least to me. And Street Fighter is a lot more restrictive about it, but the chance is there, or chance would be there if the game allowed it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, how many times in Street Fighter Five have there been things where one of us went or said bullshit to move going through another or each other's character because the game didn't want us to do a combo off of that, but the option was clearly there.
I've never said that because I'm really bad about doing combos in Street Fighter. I don't do combo in Street Fighter. No do combo. No combo.
But yeah, like the main thing with Street Fighter V's combo system in relation to all this is like that. Once again, it shows that you can do something. You can see with your eyes that you can do something, but it still won't happen because the game doesn't want you to do it because it would not be balanced. And there's many ways to fix this. Even some that wouldn't outright change how the game works. Because like just speed up the falling animation, give it more weight.
Yeah. What was I going to say? It's
Yeah.
Yeah, juggling is definitely nothing they really want you to do in Street Fighter, which, fine, that's the way they want to do things. I definitely agree with there is still juggling in the game, but it's very difficult juggling, which makes things very confusing for people who are not used to it, which is not good.
Yeah.
It's,
Not only is it sorry for cutting you off and for repeating the same thing, but like it's the thing is not isn't even just that it's hard to do because there's some characters that they allow to juggle more easily, like Urian with the Aegis Reflector combos because that's Urian, or the freaking I guess we could I don't know, like it's just once again the thing of like this is the route that we want you to do. You can juggle with this route. It does X amount of damage. It might not be the best thing that you can do, and that's for you to look up, but this is the only route that you get. If you don't do that route, then you just don't get to do the juggle.
yeah, Street Fighter's combos being more restrictive. Like Street Fighter 4, I feel like there was a lot more freedom for what you could do with combos, which is one of the things to its benefit. I mean, pretty much all the Street Fighter 5 pre-Street Fighter 5 Street Fighters, there was a lot more freedom for combos.
Yeah.
And it's never going to be big 10-hit ones. It's just freedom for what you can do to get a 3 or 4-hit combo, you know?
Yeah. And Street Fighter doesn't really need like freaking 30-hit combos, but still like the option to do more than like one combo that does like seven hits or something.
I mean, Street Fighter 5's got a whole host of issues. I mean, we just a couple days talked about this on Fighting Games R. Hey, coming out probably 2 weeks from now. But the presentation is good, and that's where most of the money went. And they wanted to try and force a certain competitive atmosphere, which does not work because generally speaking, you establish a good game, and the competitive sphere establishes itself around the game.
Yeah.
When you try and build the game for the competitive, it kind of works out very awkwardly. And you can adjust once the game's out to better suit the competitive if there's something that doesn't work on the competitive scale. But trying to build it from the ground up as we're going to put this on ESPN doesn't really work, I don't think. I mean, I look at how much badly EA bombed with this game they did, Rocket Jumper or something like that. Like, Rocket League and Overwatch, I don't imagine, were built with the intention of, let's make this a pro game that gets played on, ESPN. Rocket League was set out with car soccer. Overwatch set out with Team Fortress 2, but superheroes.
I mean, let's look at one of the most active esports, I guess, that at least I know of, which is CS. CS started out as like a Half-Life mod, didn't it?
Yes, it did. And
So
Counter-Strike Go was definitely not intended to be an esport because it was just like here's Counter-Strike but with modern graphics.
Yeah.
And then it became a beast. Like MOBAs I feel like are a little bit different in that MOBAs are inherently from the ground up built to be sport like, you know? Like, they are more in terms of the way a sport is built from the very beginning. Like, the map itself, when you look at any given MOBA map, the maps in MOBAs just look like, football fields, effectively. Very fucked up football
Yeah.
fields, but in terms of the symmetry and everything,
Yeah.
So I feel like they're a little bit different when they get designed for the ground up to be played competitively, but even then, like, most of the successful MOBAs do not balance themselves entirely based off of competitive. Like, there are some characters that are just knowingly terrible at doing certain things, and nobody really cares because they just have fun with them anyways.
Yeah.
Like in Smite, Ratatoskr has been garbage in Arena since he was released, and
But
they've
I mean,
not.
the reason for it is because Arena isn't the thing that's played competitively.
Yeah, that's part of it, but another part of it is just that, like, they're never going to change that because Ratatosk is really good in Conquest. So,
Yeah.
and it's to say, like, there's a lot of characters who are trash in Arena and okay in Conquest, or dominate in, like, Push dominates in Assault if you're lucky enough to roll him. But they're never going to change that, partly because the luck of the roll is part of the fun of Assault, but also because Push is perfectly balanced in Conquest.
Yeah.
They just have the wackiness there for people who want the wackiness, and there's balance. And it's not just entirely based off the pros either, because I have to imagine, like, I haven't talked to Soon in a while about, like, how the balance of Smite works at the pro level. But my understanding was that there are gods that they just know are not being played at the pro level, and there are gods that are being played at the pro level. That's just part of the game. It's what I say every time is, like, Marvel 2 would not be Marvel 2 if anyone other than Cable, Storm, Magneto, or Sentinel was viable.
Yeah, no, like after a point, it stops being just not balanced around the competitive or just balanced for the competitive, and at one point it just flips over to being, so this is the game now.
Like, I mean,
yeah,
the competitive community adapts itself so well. If there is something about the game that is so broken that the game cannot be played competitively,
they will
that's not
complain.
that's not just, well, hang on, if it's that bad, that means it's probably a problem for more than just the competitive community.
Yeah. But then we get the thing of like trickle down balancing working or not, which from my experience it has been mishandled more often than not. But like the idea can work.
Yeah, it's a really interesting issue to look at for me, because, like, the pro level, like, it makes sense to balance the characters based off whether or not they're in the hands of, like, the best possible people to a certain degree. But it often works out in ways that they really shouldn't have intended, and you end up with characters like, let's look at For Honor, because For Honor's a fucking mess of development.
Yeah.
But there are some characters like Lawbro. Lawbro has been trashed since launch because they intended him as the casual eater, and that's the only thing he's ever good at. Like,
Yeah.
otherwise he's just trash.
Like my thing with trickle down economics is that it just, like, once again, from my experience, doesn't really work. In my opinion, balancing around the pros is good enough, but like you should still look at your casual audience, see what they complain about,
Yes.
and then look at what the pros are saying in light of that, and then balance around both, or at least try to.
They should try to hit both. Yes, absolutely. Street Fighter V's problem is that it didn't bother to market for casuals.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the game launched with 16 fucking characters. What are the things that casuals want?
Characters,
Big roster,
offline, yeah, big roster, offline gameplay,
single player
story.
modes,
Yeah.
and, like, I wouldn't even say big supers, but, like, well, yeah, big flashy supers also part of it. As much as I love to bitch about cutscene supers in Mortal Kombat and Injustice, they are there because casuals love to see them the first 5 times.
Yeah.
After those first 5 times, it sucks, but most casuals are only going to put in 100 matches and then they're done with the game.
Honestly, I found an interesting opinion on cutscene supers and how they should be implemented, which I agree with. Which is that they should implement in just fighting games in general, but I think it was talking about Street Fighter in specific. but like they should make it so there's different tiers of supers again, like there was in Alpha. And tier 1 and 2 supers, they're just normal supers. Like in the old games, they don't change the camera, they don't do shit really. They're just supers as tools. And then on tier 3, the super gets a cutscene.
That's how Marvel 3 did it and worked for them.
Yeah. Because then it doesn't break up the gameplay too much, and you still get cutscene supers, and then you also have the different things of like, well, the Shangoku Satsu can only be done on tier 3 because it's always been a big cutscene.
Yeah, and I mean, when it's a big cutscene, like, the cutscene supers really do not matter if they are guaranteed to happen once per match, like in Injustice. Or, well, not
Yeah.
not in Injustice, Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, because any other NetherRealm game don't do supers, they're not viable. But, like, in Marvel 3, if you connect a level 3 super, it's a big moment of, oh shit, he got it! Whoa! You know, that kind of thing. And the commentators go nuts. Like, how big was it anytime in Marvel 3 that Ghost Rider connected the penance stare, right?
Yeah.
And it's really meaningless if it's just every match. Oh, here we go, fatal blow again, fuck.
Yeah, I really feel like they should have tied that to a freaking bar.
I think having it just be a straight comeback super. I think it was a really interesting idea with Mortal Kombat 11 to do away with the idea of building meter, especially because that's a way to try and nerf zoners. The trouble is that the fatal blow is like your super. There's just no reason not to use it. It's the complete opposite of other NetherRealm games where there's no reason to use the super. Here, there's no reason not to use your super.
Yeah. Although I do have the probably unpopular opinion of I don't like combat mechanics, like at all.
I'm fine with them. Sometimes they're too strong. There are some games. For Honor, Revenge was terrible in For Honor. And then sometimes it just wasn't there. Revenge really should have just been a mechanic of preventing ganks from being too strong. But it wildly varied between Revenge does nothing and will not save you from ganks, and Revenge can be popped in a 1v1 to give you the win even though you got your ass kicked.
Yeah. And now and now they nerfed Revenge, so you only get it if 2 or more people are locked onto you. So people are ganking you without being locked on now.
Ha! That's amusing.
But yeah, my whole thing against the revenge mechanic or freaking whatever comic mechanics is just rage. I really don't like rage. I haven't liked rage since they introduced it into Tekken.
Rage. Oh man, I was fine with Rage when it was just increased damage, because that's like if you pull off the comeback, it makes it more likely. But you still have to pull the comeback off in your own way, right? It's not just press button, get comeback. Tekken 7, I've been vocal ever since Tekken 7 came out. Why the fuck did Tekken 7 need... Why ever put super moves in Tekken?
Because of Akuma.
I know Akuma's there, but like, couldn't they just make him special? Like, him and Geese are the only ones to get meter, but in exchange, they get shit normals, right?
I mean, hey, Big Titty GF was also there. She also had meter.
Okay, well, yeah, you're right, but fuck me, alright.
But yeah, like, I don't know. My favorite Tekken is still 5, just because it doesn't have rage. Because it feels like when you pull off when I pull off a comeback with rage, I don't think, oh, I pulled off a comeback. I go, oh, I got rage, and then if I fail on pulling off the comeback with rage, I just feel it that much worse.
See, if I get down to a low enough health amount that rage kicks in, I usually just give up.
I usually don't. I still try to go for something, maybe.
Hang on, I want to say something. The 1 week Pink's not here and it's just you and me, we turn it into Fighting Games R, episode 12.5. Yeah, that's the title for this episode, FGA 12.5.
I mean, hey, we might as well.
Fuck it. Gotta do something to fill for time, because a bunch of fucking lazy assholes didn't show up.
But yeah, so, like, I recently played Marvel 3 with Goku. You were there. So I don't know why I'm telling you this, but... But freaking when we were playing Marvel with Goku, there was a match. I think you left by then, but I don't remember. Then again, you wouldn't have seen it anyway because you were preoccupied with other stuff. But yeah, there was this match where I was with Deadpool and he was with Virgil, where both more or less characters. I had literally a hit of life left. He still had like I don't know 50 or 25%, something around there. And he like I start to zone him out. He teleports behind me. I grab him somehow. I don't know how. I grabbed him, and then I did a freaking. I did a on ground super to him because the match was lost already. But the fact that I grabbed him somehow made it that much more hype, even though I died. Like,
Ha! Yeah, accidental throws are a thing with the context-based throw system.
it wasn't accidental, especially not on Goku's part, but it wasn't accidental.
Ha!
Goku can consistently throw proximity throws.
Oh
I
no.
don't I don't know how, but he can. I mean, so can I in some games, but not in Marvel 3.
Yeah, to me that goes too fast. Like, really, when I play Marvel 3, I have to play zoners, because, like, that's the way it makes sense.
Genuinely, the only time when Goku wanted to throw me and couldn't, it was in the air.
Yeah. Are there air throws in Marvel?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. How's Thor's work, since his throw is just a pop-up?
I don't remember. I mean, everyone has a specific air throw though, so
Okay.
maybe it changes to like a
It's a pop down.
smash. Yeah,
That would be interesting if it was a ground bounce, actually.
I think Chun's is.
Ah, yeah. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Because she's always had the air throw at shit.
Yeah. But yeah,
Oh,
it was funny when things like freaking he does Virgil's spinning attack in the air, and I was with Shenko, and I grabbed him somehow out of the active frames. I think I don't know how that happened, but it did.
this is the command throw?
No, it was a proximity throw.
Oh, yeah, weird shit does happen with proximity throws. They tend to be like 0 frames or shit like that, so I guess you just timed it perfectly. Yeah, man. Oh, yeah, fighting games. Uh, did you do anything
Boy,
else?
my PC is dying slowly but surely. Freaking out.
Oh,
Anyway, continue.
oh, you know what? I did put in time. Here's one thing I did do this week that I can talk about that's new. I
Yeah.
put in, after we recorded FGA, I put in a bit of time with Terror Drone. That game is jank, but it's the good jank. It's the good jank right there. And I'm popping that game in and I'm doing combos with Michael Myers. And I'm like, this is fucking absurd. I love it. And Candyman is just Virgil.
Nice.
They do a good job of making like a lot of the character designs really creative, and there's a lot of big combo possibility. They handle it very strangely in that, like, in terms of like on the ground combos, it's Street Fighter linkers, right?
Yeah.
Like with Jason Voorhees, his punch links into his kick, but it's not a cancel. It's just that he's got a short enough recovery on his punch that it can then link into it combos into the kick. But then
I
you
see.
get into the air juggles, and it's all of a sudden the Street Fighter combo system goes out the window. And it's a system of how long can you keep them up there.
So it's more like Third Strike or like 3 overall, really.
Yeah, definitely. And one of the things that's real weird is that every character's got, there is a meter system, and every character's got 2 supers that they can do. But there's also a system of like special weapons that you can only use a limited amount of times per match. And for some of them, it's just weird shit. Like Jason Voorhees whips out a bow and arrow, a compound bow, and just shoots the opponent with it, and it's just a fast projectile. Some of them, though, it's like crazy bullshit. Michael Myers smashes a tombstone over his opponent's head, and it gives him a Street Fighter style stun.
Ah,
So there's weird shit of like combo possibilities off of these unique specials, but you only get to use them like Michael only gets to use the tombstone move twice a match, I think. Or twice a round. It refreshes on rounds. Some of them, though, it's like, oh, Ash Williams gets the Necronomicon. He can use it 6 times per match. And what it does is, like, he whips out the Necronomicon, and it's a stance. And depending on what button you press, Ash summons a different undead creature. So it's like zoning mix-ups.
ah,
Freddy Krueger pretty well does the same thing he does in Mortal Kombat. He pulls out a little bit of the old sleep juice and makes you go to sleep. So it's a Street Fighter stun, but no damage. But it's tracking, so I guess that's what makes it strong. Leatherface can... Oh, no, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I just want to say the last one that really popped to mind was Leatherface has bear traps all over the place, which works out interestingly because he is otherwise a rushdown character.
I see.
Yeah, it's a game. The hits feel really good for it to be like, you know, a pretty low budget indie game. Some of the animations are really derpy, but it still feels very satisfying. It's got a really strange system. It's kind of like animated in the same way KI's 1 and 2 were. They made a 3D model, but then like took pictures of it.
I see. So like Goro.
Yeah, like that, yeah. And what was it? I was playing through it. I was just practicing with most of the characters, not all of them. I didn't get to practice with everybody. But at one point I was playing with Freddy, and playing Freddy Krueger is really funny because he's the Shoto.
Oh.
So Freddy Krueger has fucking Shoryukens. It's just straight up a Shoryuken.
Oh yeah, I think I remember seeing him in Mugen.
Yeah, just Freddy Krueger, you know, doing Shoryukens, and it's just so silly. I loved that. It feels like a pretty good, like, Street Fighter-esque, but, like, yeah, more in the vein of Alpha and Third Strike when there were less rules in place, you know, when you had more freedom to mess around.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it. It's jank, by all means. If you're coming in for presentation quality, you are not going to be impressed. The sound mixing is not very good. Some of the audio is just absurdly loud. And, like, the menus are very silly looking. And it's automatically in 1-to-1 ratio, and you just stretch the window out. And do not turn on full screen because it's very buggy. But, I mean, the jank here. It's like this dev team. I want this dev team to make fighting games, but I want them to hire somebody who can do who can do visuals, and someone who can do sound mixing. You know?
Yeah.
It's interesting looking at indie fighting games, because, like, where AAA fighting games kind of vary, like, Arxis generally does right. Grand Blue, DBFZ, and Strive all are very flawed games in their own way. But generally speaking, Arxis is still doing pretty well.
I mean, Strive still has a chance to improve. In fact,
Strive wasn't that bad in the beta. The big problem was just the massive damage.
Yeah, Strive's biggest issues are the damage and how the normals link into each other. But I mean, most of the time, like the thing is, I feel like they should de-incentivize just going for 4 gems in a row and calling that neutral. But you know,
Yeah.
But other than that, if they can, you know, make the neutral more fun, which, you know, sounds really funny coming from my mouth, I know, but like I play Rushdown, neutral is a part of the thing I do. So
neutral is a part of everyone. It's just that some characters like Chun-Li are just built fundamentally as, well, she doesn't get big combos, she's not got a ton of offensive pressure, she's not got good projectiles, but she's really good at neutral.
But yeah, like if they make the neutral more fun, which judging from the, like, actually that ties into the other thing I was going to say as well, so I'll just say it now I guess. But yeah, so if they make the neutral more fun and if they reduce the damage a bit, then I can see me liking Strive a lot, because I don't want like the thing I'm looking for in Strive isn't Revelator 3. I'm looking for a good Guilty Gear game
Eh,
first and foremost. But yeah, and judging by the thing that the fighting director said, judging by what he said, they actually are looking into damage and how they can make it so you actually have an incentive to do interesting neutral and better combos. So, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. They haven't well, they have disappointed me by now, but they haven't disappointed me enough yet, and it wasn't this team, I don't think.
eh.
Was DBCF this team?
I have to say it probably wasn't, because the DBFZ team would still be working on a new Goku DLC right now.
Oh yeah.
I have to assume Arxis has got at least a couple teams right now.
I mean, it has at least two because Team Red is making Strive and Team Blue is making or is maintaining Cross Tag. So
Cross Tag is still getting maintained?
I'm not sure. I think they're either still working on Cross Tag or they're on Grand Blue, but I forget.
That. Huh. Oh, I'd hope they're working on Grand Blue, because Cross Tag ain't worth keeping up, but hey! Hey! I don't. I need to play more indie fighting games, because, like, Capcom obviously, like, NetherRealm was doing pretty good with Mortal Kombat 9 and Injustice. Not quite as good with Mortal Kombat X. Injustice 2 was fine as a fighting game, but it had the problems of the gear system and the ridiculous screen shake. And Mortal Kombat 11 has got a real fucking problem with every character. Like, a character being so streamlined that there's really only one way to play them. So, I mean, Atlas is still doing well. Excuse me, Atlas is making very good fighting games still. Just they're not making a whole lot of them. So for, like, I don't know, 2D fighting games, I do feel inclined to try more indie fighting games. Which I do want to try Punch Planet. I do want to try it, but it's like always the thing of, like, when it goes on sale, it goes on sale for like $15 or something. And before I put my foot in my mouth, let me actually check the price of Punch Planet right now, because if it goes on sale for $15, that may be higher than the price they actually are asking when it's not on sale, so I'm probably wrong about that. Okay, $20 is what they ask for right now. And when it goes on sale, it goes down to like $15, which is just like, the game really interests me, but at the same time, $15 is a fair bit considering the sales Steam otherwise offers.
Yeah,
I guess their thing is they're in early access, and when early access games rarely, if ever, go on significant sales.
I guess.
Yeah.
My big for to give my 2 cents on the indie fighting game thing, like I don't have anything inherently against indie fighting games. I just don't like most of like either the premise or the presentation in most of them.
Heh.
So like Schoolgirls, I'm willing to give Schoolgirls a chance because I mean it's a game.
Yeah.
I, I don't have anything particular against Schoolgirls, but like moving on to things like Thames Fighting Herds. I hear a lot of good about that game, but I don't have any real interest because I don't have any real interest in fighting those animals.
Ponies,
Like,
yeah.
yeah. And then the fight of blank series. No. Just straight up no.
Legitimately, as you said that, I realized, oh, I don't have the Fight of Blank series on my wish list, and I went and added them to my wish list.
But yeah, like you know how you're always up. Like, I don't know how to say this without freaking sounding like an asshole. But you know how you're always like, oh, memes. Yeah, that's me when it comes to the Fight of Blank series. Like, it feels very hey there fellow kids to me. The things that I've seen anyway.
Fight of Animals to a certain degree, but at the same time, I kind of appreciate it as, like, at least they're specifically animal memes, you know?
I guess. But then that Punch Sprite, I just flat out don't like the art style, and that's my biggest gripe with that game. Cause
You're not into like the kind of classic Cartoon Network like Samurai Jack artwork.
I am.
Oh, Punch Planet looks
But
very Samurai Jack, or like it looks like Samurai Jack, or like, oh, help me here. How am I forgetting his name? Johnny Bravo. It reminds me of Johnny Bravo or Samurai Jack. Punch Planet does.
I don't know, because last I checked it out, it reminded me more of the newer art styles, like freaking Steven Universe and stuff like that. And I don't like the art style of that.
Steven Universe is very rounded art style. When I looked at Punch Planet, it was very angular.
That is true, but yeah, I don't
The
know.
most rounded thing I could think of was that lady's ass.
But yeah, I don't know. Punch Planet just didn't work for me. I don't have anything particularly against it, aside from the art style, maybe. But like, it just didn't look that interesting to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
And there's the other games that nobody seems to really talk about are usually just like, well, there was one that I looked at, but the way they described the mechanics they want to include didn't really interest me. It was supposed to be like an anime-ish fighter, but I don't know, the like it was like if an anime fighter had the V skill system.
Oh,
Basically, is the best way I can put it. And you know, to an extent, I could be interested in that game, but it's nowhere near like even halfway done. Like there was in the showcase that they did, there was only placeholder art for the characters because it's not done yet.
because making fighting games is hard.
Yeah, but you know, like that's fine and all that. I just didn't really like how they explain the mechanics and what they want them to be. So whatever. And then there's the other indie fighting games that I usually see, which are just, hey, we're making a fighting game. It's Smash. It's
Yeah.
just Smash.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a real problem because Smash is still limited to Nintendo, so every other platform wants their Smash, you know? And PlayStation All Stars didn't work as nearly as well as they intended, so.
But like, yeah.
My question there is like the Smash clone with the animals, like where you played as the beluga whale and all that. Like, wasn't that a pretty big success?
I think so, yeah. Rivals of Aether.
Yeah. Well, I guess
No,
it being a big success is.
Yeah, not only was it a big success, but we have a free Smash clone out right now that anyone can play.
And it's dog shit.
It is, but it is out there.
And it has Roman Reigns.
And it's free. Yeah, it does have Roman Reigns, but even worse, it has Xavier Woods.
Oh no. Does your Smash Brothers have Roman Reigns? I thought not.
Xavier Woods' freaking neutral B is coming on the Diva belt.
Oh no! It propels the Diva belt to turn it into a projectile.
Yeah, it's a projectile.
Oh, crap. Well, whoopsie doodles.
But yeah, like
it's really incredible he didn't get in more trouble for that.
Yeah.
Like, I know that modern WWE is pretty well built on New Day, but like, shit. That was really a bad look for him, and nobody really talked about it. They were more talking about her.
Yeah.
Which says a lot about how Westerners look at sexuality, doesn't it?
I don't know, because it was really, from what I remember, really only Woods that was not talked about. Because I remember people talking about Woods a small bit. I can remember them talking about Paige a lot. And I can remember them talking about Maddox, who I think was the guy with the camera who was also participating.
Yeah, but Maddox is already known as a fuck-up guy, so people really like to bound it on further when a guy's already known as a fuck-up, you know?
Yeah.
I guess it's also one of those cases of just, like, people are personally biased because Xavier was and still is a pretty popular guy in an otherwise company full of otherwise unpopular dudes. So I guess people just kind of gave him the benefit of the doubt.
I guess, yeah.
Whereas Maddox, you look at him and that guy's just got immediately a punchable face.
Yeah, I still remember I got warned on the forum because of him.
You got warned on the forum for what?
because Maddox posted his Blair Witch thing saying, "Oh, send help, send the cops. I'm trapped in a cave," and I'm like, "Bullshit! He's not trapped in a cave." And
Oh,
so someone reported me. Someone summoned freaking our friend Koza, who is a moderator but doesn't spend a whole lot of time on the forums, and he just gave me a warning because obviously I was wrong. And then like a week later, it turned out, oh, it was all a hoax.
yeah. The 2K forum. I was about to say, what would you
No,
have
it was this
possibly?
forum. It was this forum.
Oh, under Bane. Okay, yeah. I was about to say because
No,
Clown would.
no, it was a couple of years ago. Clown was just on his leave then, I think.
Yeah, Clown would have given you a commendation for saying bullshit.
Like I remember the only like even Wild was like in the middle of on it, and I was like, no, it's bullshit. You can obviously see that it's freaking made up.
I do. I vaguely remember Maddox doing that, but I was like so out of touch with wrestling. I was just like, whatever. Which, oh my god, yeah, wrestling. Hey,
It exists.
go from one genre where we're super nostalgic about old things and bitter about the new things to another. Rob Van Dam as the third strike of professional wrestling.
I don't know.
Rob Van Dam is the Q of professional wrestling.
No, Q's better. Rob Van Dam is like the Street Fighter 4 or like the Street Fighter 5 of wrestling, because Rob Van Dam showed a lot of promise, and then none of it was delivered.
Roman Reigns was the Street Fighter 5 of wrestling. Come on. And
Maybe
Roman and Street Fighter 5 are in the same category of like, I don't hate them. I don't dislike them even. I almost want to like them. But like, ew.
I don't know then which like major fighting game had a freaking sequel that showed a lot of promise but didn't really deliver overall. Kind of just fizzled out. Tekken 6.
Yeah. KOF 12.
KOF Maximum Impact.
Oh boy. No, Rob Van Dam is definitely KOF Maximum Impact. You're super right.
I was about to say Rob Van Dam is Mr. Impact or whatever the hell.
Oh god, you're right. Oh fucking Jesus. Oh, and who is Cross Tekken?
Heath Slater.
Heath Slater. Just shit and steals all your money. Ryback is Cross Tekken. Oh god.
Yeah, Ryback is Cross Tekken. You are right. No. Brock Lesnar.
Oh yeah. Well, no. Cross Tekken was a massive failure. Like Lesnar, they keep him around for some reason. Cross Tag is Brock Lesnar. Blaze Blue Cross Tag. Oh Jesus.
Ah yeah. Yeah, he dumbed down and for some reason sticks around.
TNA is just Blaze Blue. The whole of TNA. Like, it's just a shitty knockoff of a previous franchise that people really liked, and people stuck with it because it's like, well, I can't watch WCW anymore, and I refuse to watch WWE, so here's TNA, I guess.
And then MK is WWE.
Yeah.
and freaking and literally all of the Japanese freaking companies combined are Guilty Gear.
Yeah.
Freaking you can't understand what the hell is going on, but you like it maybe.
Had a rough patch in the late 2000s, but then made a comeback in the 2010s.
Yeah. Shit, it fits too well.
Yeah.
And what would be Street Fighter overall? Like WCCW?
I mean, Street Fighter is the WWE, honestly. Like, if there was a company that died in the early 2000s and then came back in the early 2010s, that'd be Mortal Kombat, but I can't think of any there.
NWA.
NWA? NWA has not come back. Shut the fuck up.
I mean, technically they are operating right now, I think.
They never stop. They're never going to stop.
All right, I forgot. Every time when AWA dies, another one rises.
Yeah,
And Terry Funk is always there to make it official.
Yeah. Oh god, you better not work on a system of Terry Funk makes X official, because Terry Funk can show up for a fucking bucket of fried chicken.
Yeah.
Is he still wrestling? Let me look it up. He must have permanently retired in 2018, right?
Terry Funk makes the fried chicken official.
Okay, Wikipedia lists him as retired.
This month. Check next month.
Okay, on September 17th, 2016, Funk announced his retirement at House of Hardcore 17. Funk made another return to the ring on September 22nd, 2017 for the Big Time Wrestling promotion in Raleigh, North Carolina. He teamed with the Rock and Roll Express in a 6-man tag match. Oh my god, the picture of the Rock and Roll Express is so bad. It is so bad.
The thing with Funk is he has said multiple times he wants to retire. He's wanted to retire in the past like freaking 40 years, but he can't. He literally can't afford to retire.
Hang on. Get a look at the Rock and Roll Express.
Boy. Rockin'.
Yeah. And I just read the stupidest thing I've ever read.
Yeah.
They are signed and active in AEW.
I guess the money ran out.
Cody, why? These fuckers are ancient.
That's the reason. He needed a couple of skeleton props.
Oh, Christ.
Blimey.
Oh my god, like I forgot that the oh god, like these guys didn't look good when they were young. Like look at the fucking walleye here on Robert Gibson. Like this is why you shouldn't take chair shots, people.
Chair shots, not even one. Not even once.
Jesus Christ, he can have 2 checkbooks open at once and watch both of them. At least the Midnight Express isn't still going. Those fuckers are... Jesus.
You scroll down a paragraph. They fought against the Midnight Express.
Oh no! They did reunite from 2004 to 2011, but thankfully they retired after that.
Oh, blimey.
Oh...
Very even Vervy.
Pro wrestling sucks. I hate pro wrestling.
Yeah.
What is there in fighting games that when you look at it you go, fighting games suck, I hate fighting games?
Honestly, probably esports.
Ha!
The whole culture around it, and how like with Street Fighter V, games are starting to be built around them instead of being built to be fun, and then esports just kind of happen.
Yeah, that I mean, at least to me that makes some level of sense, but just like intellectually insulting, disgusting, what the fuck. I almost want to say 7 Gokus in Fighter Z. That to me is like on the level of here's the Midnight Express, they're back, or something like that, you know?
Oh, I block out Fighter Z from my life, so I completely forget it exists whenever we're not talking about it, honestly.
Ah!
Genuinely, the only times I remember fighting Z. Boy, Fighter Z. The only time I remember Fighter Z exists, or when we bring it up in conversation, if it's on a free weekend, or if it's on sale. Those are the only 3 times that I remember it exists.
Yep. Oh no. No, you know what what I see that makes me go, I hate fighting games.
Yeah.
Mary Rose in Dead or Alive. Marie Rose. That is just where I'm like, you know what? Fighting games were a mistake. We need to go back in time and stop Erika.
Maybe. I don't remember what she looks like, but is she the cowgirl?
No, Marie Rose is the very obviously underage girl.
Ah, understandable.
Yeah. I don't understand a lot of these Zoomer memes, but like the Zoomer meme of Arnold Schwarzenegger going back in time and going, Erika, stop! Don't make the Street Fighter 2. I don't understand the Zoomers.
I like how the freaking I like how we don't know who actually what the actual guy's name is, so we just say Ariko like the Japanese, because in Japan, even during the round table, it was a thing that you could hear. In Japan, it's not weird to actually, if you don't want to call someone their name, you just call them their company name. So it's instead of, I don't know, like you being Alex, you would be Mr. FOS.
Ha! Well, in this case, it's because the dude is named Akira, but he just turned his name around and made a company.
Ah, okay. So in this case, it actually makes sense.
Ha! And the other guy was Akimon. Wait, wasn't Akimon like the... Isn't he like the artist
Yes.
that made...
No, no. Akiman?
Akimon, yeah.
Yeah, he was a wrestler.
No. The game designer Akimon.
Yeah, I know he was a wrestler. He,
Ha!
he was in the No Mercy games, or whichever one I forget. The WCW games, I think. Or
Okay,
was it?
Akimon is the
Yeah.
guy that I think of for the... I think he's the guy I think of for the iconic art used for Marvel 2.
Ah,
And he also was the character designer for Red Dead Revolver, which says a lot about Red Dead Revolver. Akimon is... Okay, Akimon, I did not know that the guy who was also... Okay, so Akimon is famous for a lot of the Capcom art he made in the late 90s and early 2000s. I did not know he was also co-designer of Street Fighter 2 alongside Arika. And the reason we call them Arika and Akimon is because they're both named Akira. And we don't want to get them confused.
I see.
So we just changed both of their names. Now they're Arika and Akimon. Whatever, I love Akimon's art, so it's nice to hear that he has another crazy-ass talent.
Yeah.
Like, he actually, a lot of my favorite drawings of classic X-Men characters are Akimon's art of, like, Wolverine and stuff. I consider those classics. Alright.
But yeah, to go back to what makes me hate fighting games thing for a bit, it's not nowhere near as serious as your thing. But if I'm gonna be honest, it's freaking Ruby being in cross tag.
Ruby, right, yes, it took me for a second. I was like, Ruby Hart? I don't remember her being in cross tag. Oh, right, Ruby. That's one of those things where, like, on a level of personal bias, I love a lot of the Rooster Teeth guys, so I'm not gonna get too angry. At the same time, like, you've put up with more Ruby fangirls than I have, haven't you?
I mean, I off the cuff RP'd for like 3 years with one, which was X-Men. So
Oh, X-Man, yeah, right. He was super into Ruby. He was into the ice cream girl, Neapolitan.
yeah.
I forgot about that. Now I like the last time we saw him, he was all about Android 21, so that's who I associate with him now. And Tron Bonne.
Yeah, he always is a new waifu.
Yeah,
Every time
he's a real waifu boy, he is. Yeah, that was it was interesting knowing him.
But yeah.
Technically we're still connected because he is still a part of the FOS Discord group. He just doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
It's in the same way where, like, I refer to him and Joey in the past tense, which makes it sound like they're fucking dead. It's just that I don't talk to either of them anymore.
Yeah, same here. Which is weird when you consider that he was actually in my first couple reviews.
Ha!
I got him to voice act freaking my made up character for me.
Ha! Oh, man. Shit, we got old.
Yeah. And we
Oh yeah.
did nothing. That's the best part. We not only got old, but we accomplished jack shit. Me more so than you, but still.
Man, it's the thing of like the way the world is right now. You know, there's not much opportunity. We're in a good old period of what they call stagflation. You ever heard of that?
No.
It was an insult against President Jimmy Carter during his term, where they said the economy was simultaneously stagnating and inflating.
Ah.
Which is about the most severe insult you can say for an economy, because generally speaking, stagnation and inflation are both seen as bad things, but they are not seen as coming together. Because if there's inflation, at least it means the economy is moving. But
Yeah.
if it's stagflating, it's like, what the fuck? How are things getting more expensive when we aren't changing the money supply? So yeah, we've been having a real bad stagflation. It's the ripple effect problem, right? What is America's problem soon becomes everyone else's problem.
Yeah.
We elected Clinton, and you guys are still paying the price.
I mean, hey, just invent new and improved technology forehead. Just continue what they did in the freaking 20s.
Oh man. What was I gonna say? I mean, we're inventing new tech all the time. It's just not us.
Yeah, it's not the two of us. That's the issue. We need to come up with the Jimmy Neutron rocket car.
I mean, I could talk for like hours about economics and be like, oh, so this, and this happened, and like, there's all this, and like, there's the double issue there of, for one, I don't think that really fits this podcast. There's also the thing of like, I'm not an economics expert.
Yeah. You know, funnily enough, I've been recently more and more interested in like, researching just old nothings, basically. That just anything in history in the freaking particular time frames that I'm interested in. Because I watched a video about the old, like, I don't know, like 1940s freaking. I think it was some sort of tape recorder, and they showed a couple of whatchamacallit, freaking. Oh, I forget their English name. Bloody hell! Like magazines, basically, like newspapers, and just reading the random shit that was on the side next to them talking about the tape machine was just so freaking interesting for some reason.
Oh yeah. And like the stuff that they used to put back in the day, like I don't know. The thing that always amuses me is the Boys Life covers, right? That's the dude, the famous meme of the dude wrestling with a bunch of lobsters.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't get these lobsters off me. Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. No, go ahead.
No, I wasn't going to say anything.
I couldn't actually think of any examples of like what they put along the side. What were some of the things you saw?
It was talking about like President Truman was in the talks with the Federal Trade Committee to finally start I forget exactly the wording, but it was something like to finally start finalizing the details on music copyright laws and stuff like that, because it was Billboard's magazine.
Oh, interesting. Right, that is one of the things that like I've never done much studying into, but like copyright law, when would that have started? What would have made them decide that was a severe issue?
I've got to assume it would have something to do with Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
because before copyright became a big thing, every big singer had their own version of a particular song.
Ha.
Hell, it's kind of a thing over here still, and it's in the middle, because new songs made by gypsy artists, specifically, in the like gypsy folk music. I don't know if I'd call it folk music, but that's the
gypsy folk rap.
Not yet.
Like it's in the middle of this story of our heritage, and then midway through, break it down. Drop the bass.
I mean, they would probably do that. I mean, the thing is, like, it's. I call it folk music because it's based on the traditional music that gypsies had, but it's also electronic. So I'm not sure if it fits completely.
I was just
But
imagining like the fucking Vivo music in the background, or not Vivo. Oh, what's? Yeah. Anyways, continue. I can't remember names of musical acts.
all right. But yeah, so there's these old songs before copyright existed that every big gypsy singer has a cover of, and I'm not sure if they actually need to pay for that or not, because I'm not a big gypsy singer personally.
I don't know how copyright law works in Hungary, but over here in the States, if it's older than a certain date, it does not fit into copyright.
Yeah, I think that would be how they do it over here as well, because all of shit we copied from America. So,
Ha!
or if like basically, I think the default consensus is if it's not in the law books, probably just based on America.
Ha! Do you not have like a basis in the Napoleonic Code because he went around spreading that shit when he took over most of Europe?
Maybe, I'm not sure. I don't know too much about Hungarian law either.
Napoleon did take over Hungary at some point, right?
I don't think so.
He made it really far. He made it to like Russia before he got stopped. And then he did it again. Crazy fucker.
I don't know. I think I think I remember if Napoleon ever made it down here specifically.
I'm going to Wikipedia the extent of the
All
Napoleonic
right.
Empire.
I mean, maybe he did. I don't doubt it. Maybe I'm just forgetting because there's a lot of Hungarian history I'm keen to forget. But I don't know because the two I remember are the two big occupying forces that I remember are like the Turkish and the Russians, and there was a bit of time between those two.
Ha! Okay, Napoleon did not make it to Hungary. He took Spain, Germany, Italy, and like the eastern half of Poland, but not the western half somehow.
Ah,
I don't know how that works, but okay. They
just
they
turned
jetpack
around.
they flew over the western half. Don't worry, they got in their jetliner and they flew over the western half.
Yeah.
Why the fuck was he in Egypt?
Why not? It was the cool thing to do. If you want a big empire, just take Egypt. It's already bigger.
I mean, I guess. I mean, at that time they would have been fucking with the Ottomans when they did that, wouldn't they?
Maybe.
Wait.
Yeah.
Okay, this map says okay, no, he did not they didn't conquer Hungary, but he was allied with Hungary. You were on Napoleon's side.
Ah, so that explains why I didn't hear about it then.
Hungary always chooses the wrong fucking side in every war.
I've told you. Hungary always chooses the wrong side in everything. Not every war, but yeah. And maybe not the ones that they're on the that they're being attacked in, but or like where they're the defenders. Maybe even those. Who knows at this point? But very. Oh yeah, the old newspaper stuff. And like I don't know why I find that stuff interesting because it's literally just here's this piece of stuff happening, everyday life happening. That's written about for a bit,
Well,
and then that's it. Yeah,
it's the funny part is like these things that we think of it we take for granted. A person at some point living without, or things that we think of as history. A person opening up their book and being like, "Oh, they're making it where people can't steal each other's music anymore, huh? How about that?
yeah.
Oh, we bombed the shit out of Japan, huh?" Back
And
then, I imagine they didn't care that much.
no. And then there's then in the freaking in the upper left corner it just says Japan will remember that.
Yeah. No, the fuck they didn't.
Not really, no. I mean there is still the I think in yeah.
It says Japan will remember that, and then it somewhere General MacArthur is like, also, we're gonna rehabilitate you guys now that we blew you up, and it just says Japan will now forget that.
Yeah.
Just the person
Um,
opens up the book and is like, opens up a newspaper and they're like, oh, we bombed the shit out of Japan. Let me open up my eugenics book.
Although I do believe in Hiroshima, there's still a monument of the like the last building that still stood, or like one of the couple last buildings that still stood. They turned it into a monument and they lit a fire before it, and they say that if that the fire will only go out, or they'll only let the fire go out when nuclear weapons cease existing. Good
Ah,
luck with that.
yeah. Yeah, I can't see that happening. Even if they somehow get all the first world countries to agree to drop them, North Korea fucking won't.
Yeah,
Oh, man. Yeah, there's some things that they just do like that, and it's like, well, yeah, that's not happening. Well, what? I feel like there was some celebrity pairing who said they wouldn't get married until starvation ended in Africa. And I was like, you're gonna be waiting a while, buddy.
yeah,
Oh, man. Alright. I'd say it's about time that we wrap things up.
yeah.
Alright. Well, Addy, say bye.
Bye.
Alright, we will see you later, folks.